Kindness is a currency, don't you? A soft, warm coin you press into the palm of the world, expecting something of equal value in return. Respect, reciprocity, love perhaps. You stand there with your hand outstretched, waiting, and what you get back is the cold, hard slap of reality. You call it betrayal. You call it disillusionment. You call it the cruelty of the modern age. I call it the bill coming due for your own profound and terrifying self-deception. You mistake your fear for virtue. You mistake your cowardice for compassion. You mistake your desperate, cloying need to be approved of, to be seen as good, as some noble sacrifice. It is none of these things. It is a sickness, a possession, a voluntary enslavement you decorate with the garlands of martyrdom. You are not a victim, you are a volunteer. You are a ghost haunting the hallways of your own life, apologizing for taking up space. And you have the audacity, the sheer unmitigated gall, to wonder why the living walk straight through you. The cost isn't the one-time sting of being used. It's not the stolen idea, the unrequited affection, the favor unreturned. That is merely the symptom, the fever spike. The true cost is the slow, grinding erosion of your own soul. It is the quiet murder of your potential, performed nightly in the privacy of your own mind by your own trembling hands. Each time you say yes when every fiber of your being screams no, you are not being kind. You are performing a ritual of self-mutilation. You are amputating a piece of your own strength, your own truth, and leaving it on the altar of someone else's convenience. And then you stand there, bleeding from these invisible stumps, and you wonder why you feel so weak, so drained, so perpetually empty. You have given away the very marrow of your being, and you expect to stand tall? You have handed the keys to your own psychic house to any smiling stranger who knocked, and you are shocked to find it ransacked, defiled, and occupied by squatters who now tell you how to live in it? This is the poison. This is the diagnosis. What I once called the shadow, you now call negativity. You call it toxicity. You call it bad vibes. You have taken the most vital, most potent, most terrifying and life-giving part of your own psyche, and you have turned it into a trendy demon to be exorcised with hollow affirmations and vapid positivity. The shadow is the furnace in the basement of your soul. It is where your anger lives, your righteous fury, your ambition, your cunning, your selfishness, your capacity for boundary, your magnificent, world-shattering power to say enough. It is the dragon guarding your gold. And you have starved it, you have locked it away, you have pretended it does not exist because you are terrified of its fire. You would rather be a pleasant, lukewarm room than a house with a blazing hearth. And so you wander through the world, a walking invitation, a sign around your neck written in the invisible ink of your own repressed power that says, I am incomplete, I am unarmed, I have no teeth, my treasures are unguarded. Please come and take what you will. I will even thank you for it. You claim you want to understand the world, to navigate its brutal realities. You come to me, or to voices like mine, with your modern pleas. You say, this is about modern dating, so leave out the ancient stories. You say, the man of today needs to learn something practical. You demand a 7-step guide to building a spine, a 10-point list for detecting a narcissist. You want the algorithm for human connection, the cheat code for respect. You want to learn how to fight a wolf, but you refuse to acknowledge the wolf inside your own skin. You want the fruits of the ancients' wisdom, but you sneer at the roots from which it grew. You ask for a sword, but you are unwilling to feel its weight, to learn its balance, to respect its deadly purpose. You want a technique, a trick, a life hack. You do not want the terrible, transformative truth. The truth is that the patterns are archetypal. The vampire that drains you in the boardroom is the same psychic entity that drained the villagers of lore. The siren that lures you into a toxic relationship with empty promises sings the same song that dashed ships against the rocks for millennia. You refuse the wisdom of the story, the myth, the symbol, because it requires you to look deeper than the surface of your own pathetic, immediate complaints. You want a bandage for a cancer. You want to redecorate the prison cell. You refuse to see it is a prison you built yourself, and only you hold the key. And the key is forged in the very fire you call negative. This is the test, and you are failing it again and again. Every time you are exploited, it is not misfortune. It is a lesson. It is a diagnostic. It is the universe holding up a merciless mirror to the cowardice you have cultivated and called peace. That colleague who took credit for your work, he is not your nemesis, he is your teacher. He is showing you the gaping hole where your ambition and your self-assertion should be. That partner who drains you dry, who treats your emotional energy like an open tap, they are not your soulmate gone wrong. They are your X-ray, revealing the fractures in your own self-worth, the places where you have decided that anyone's comfort is more important than your own survival. That friend who only calls when they need something, who sees you as a utility, a resource, they are a prophet screaming a divine truth you refuse to hear. You have taught me that you are not a person to be respected, but a thing to be used. You see these people as the source of your pain. You rage against them in the dark. You cry about their injustice. But you refuse to see them for what they truly are: messengers. They are simply the entities in your environment who have a functioning shadow, who have an integrated capacity for taking what they want. And they have found you a vast, unclaimed territory ripe for colonization. They are not evil. They are simply acting in accordance with their nature. The wolf is not evil for eating the lamb. The wolf is a wolf. The tragedy is that you were born a lion, and you have chosen, through a lifetime of cowardice and conformity, to live as a lamb. You have sheared your own mane, filed down your own claws, and practiced the art of bleeding. And then you weep when the wolves come. It is the universe's brutal, beautiful, perfect logic. You are not being punished, you are being revealed. Your latest collapse was not bad luck. It was an audit of your soul, and the books were found to be cooked. The assets, your strength, your will, your truth, were all signed away, given away for the fleeting, worthless currency of being thought of as nice. So what is the alchemy? How do you survive this wasteland you have helped create inside yourself? You think the answer is to become like them, to become a predator, to be cynical, to be cruel. You swing from one pathetic pole to the other, from the saccharine martyr to the bitter tyrant. Both are masks. Both are prisons. Both are a refusal to do the real, sacred, terrifying work of becoming whole. The alchemy is not in becoming the monster. It is in acknowledging, honoring, and integrating the monster that has always lived within you. When I spoke of making the darkness conscious, I was not speaking of some esoteric, intellectual exercise. I was handing you a scalpel for the most important surgery of your life. I was forging the blade you now refuse to grasp. To make the darkness conscious is to go down into the basement of your soul, not with a flashlight and a cross, but with a chair and a bottle of strong wine. It is to sit with your own rage until you understand its righteous purpose. It is to listen to your own envy until it tells you what you truly desire. It is to feel the full, murderous force of your resentment and let it teach you where your boundaries have been violated. This is the survival toolkit. It is not a list of phrases. It is an internal recalibration. First, you must learn the holy, sacred, and foundation-shaking power of the word no. Not a hesitant no, not an apologetic no, not a no but maybe later. You must learn to speak no from the bedrock of your being. A no that is a complete sentence. A no that is not a negotiation, but a closing of a door, the drawing of a line, the end of a world. This no is the first word in the language of the integrated soul. It is the sound of your own spine snapping into place. Second, you must reclaim your aggression. Not violence, aggression. The life force, the forward-moving energy, the aggress of a plant pushing through concrete to find the sun, the aggress of a river carving a canyon through stone. You have been taught that aggression is ugly. You have been told it is masculine, toxic, dangerous. It is all of those things when it is unconscious, when it is the blind rage of the unexamined shadow. But when it is conscious, when it is wielded by an integrated self, aggression is the engine of creation. It is the force that builds businesses, that writes symphonies, that defends children, that protects the sanctity of the soul. You have turned your engine off, and you wonder why you are stalled on the side of the road. Third, you must embrace your inner bastard, your inner bitch. That part of you that is ruthlessly self-interested, not for the purpose of harming others, but for the non-negotiable purpose of protecting yourself. This is the part of you that can look at a manipulator's sob story and say, "Not my problem." The part that can walk away from a draining situation without guilt. The part that prioritizes your own psychic health above the emotional comfort of those who would feast upon it. You think this part is ugly? I tell you, it is your immune system. You have spent a lifetime taking psychic immunosuppressants because you wanted everyone to like you. And now you have no defense against the slightest infection of exploitation. You must cultivate this sacred selfishness, this divine cuntishness, as a guardian at the gate of your own well-being. This is not a path of comfort. It is a crucible. It is a fire. It is the agonizing work of reclaiming the parts of yourself you were taught to hate. It is the process of individuation, not of becoming better, but of becoming whole. A whole person is not always nice. A whole person is not always agreeable. A whole person is formidable. They can be kind, yes, with a kindness that has weight and meaning because it is a choice, not a compulsion. But they can also be dangerous. They can be a fortress. They can be a storm. And because they know the storm within themselves, they are no longer afraid of the storms in the world. They can walk through fire because they have swallowed fire. You want to stop being used? Stop being so damn usable. Stop. Stop reading. Stop thinking. Stop analyzing my words. For one moment, just stop. Close your eyes if you must. Feel. Feel the space you occupy. Feel the air entering your lungs. Now, go deeper. Past the frantic monologue of your anxieties. Past the curated gallery of your persona. Go down. Into the gut. Into the dark, warm, animal space of your body. Find the knot of resentment you have been swallowing for days, for years, for a lifetime. The silent scream you choked down when you said yes again. Find it. It is there. It is a physical thing, a hot, dense stone in your belly. Now, feel what is coiled around that stone. Feel the beast, the one you have starved, the one you have shamed. It is weak, but it is there. Feel its phantom claws. Feel its atrophied muscles. Feel the rumble in its throat that has been silenced for so long. Feel the teeth you were born with and forgotten how to use. Feel them in your own jaw. the capacity to bite down, to tear, to hold on, to say, with the finality of a predator's jaw, this far and no further. That is not a metaphor. It is a physiological memory, a truth your body knows even if your mind denies it. It is your power, dormant, waiting. Feel it, right now. Continue this charade, and the epitaph I foresaw becomes yours. You will not die a martyr's glorious death. You will simply fade. You will become a translucent shell, a collection of pleasing apologies and unmet needs. You will be a ghost who mistook his chains for a comforting blanket, a footnote in someone else's biography, the nice one everyone vaguely remembers and deeply, profoundly did not respect. Your headstone will read, "Here lies a pleasant echo. They agreed to everything and therefore stood for nothing." You will have traded the terrifying, magnificent adventure of your own soul for the cheap, stale bread of being liked. And in the end, you will have neither. Your soul will not be judged on how kind you were. It will be judged on how true you were. And your truth is not just the light. It is the whole damn spectrum. It is the darkness and the fire and the fury that you have so diligently, so piously, so pathetically repressed. To deny it is to deny God. To deny it is the only true sin. So here is your rebellion. Not tomorrow, not after you've thought about it, now. Before this screen dims, before you distract yourself with the next dose of digital soma. Take out a piece of paper or open a blank document. I want you to write down the name of one person who drains you, one situation where you consistently betray yourself, one boundary that is crossed daily. Now, underneath it, I want you to write the sentence you are most terrified to say to them. The raw, unvarnished, brutal truth. Not the polite version. The one that tastes like blood and freedom in your mouth. The no. The I will not. The this is unacceptable. The you are not entitled to my time, my energy, or my soul. Look at it. Let it burn on the page. Let its poison and its medicine seep into you. You do not have to say it out loud yet, but you must, for the first time, allow it to exist. You must acknowledge it as your truth. That is your first act of war against your own voluntary slavery. That is the first spark in the furnace you have left cold for so long. Now go, stoke the fire, or be content to live in the goddamn dark. The choice was always and will always be yours.